Erik Spring, what's good, eh?
Man, what's going on, Jamal? Everything with you?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. What you have going on today?
Just got done day of sparring with Danny. This is my second week in camp with Danny to get ready for his fight with Errol Spence.
Okay. Is this your first time ever working with Danny?
Nope, I worked for him before my last fight with Joey Spencer. I was in here down in January before I had my fight in January.
Oh yeah, the Joey Spencer fight. How did you get that?
So I was a late replacement. He had somebody, and actually I was in camp with Lamana in December, and then Marshall right after Christmas was like, "Yo, we're switching up. You're gonna go to camp with Danny, and you're fighting Joey Spence."
And Lamana, that was the Jorge Cota fight?
Yeah, he fought the same night as me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
so you were the replacement.
So Lamana was fighting Cota. At that
Yeah.
time, I didn't know that. I was getting Lamana ready for Cota.
Mm.
And then Marshall, right after Cribs, got a call, I guess, from him to replace Joey's guy fell out through injury. So he asked if I'd take the fight. I came, signed the contract the next day, and then he was like, Danny needs somebody at camp. He think Danny was a better comparison with Joey. So then we switched it from Lamana camp, came down here and worked with Danny.
You got good work in that camp?
Yes, great work, great work.
The Joey Spencer fight, you lost a decision. What do you feel like went wrong?
I think it was too much. It was like my camp was great. I think I just bleed too much to height. I was hearing about this power, and then I didn't really turn on to the 4th, 5th round. And to me, I think his power is okay. It's not devastating like a lot of people made it seem. So I guess I gave him too much respect going into there instead of fighting my own fight.
All right, now recently you made a change in trainers.
Yes, yep. This is my new trainer right here, Jeff Illinois. He's been with me since I first started 6 years ago. He was one of my assistants under Washington when I first came out. I was at Washington's, and then what happened? We parted business thing. Then I ended up with Kings Promotions, but they had their own trainers with Mo Morales. And then now I started my own business, which my hours are crazy. And he stays open late, so now I made the change back to going back home.
Okay. What changes do you have as opposed to his old trainer?
Working with his speed, making him faster.
He thought in the fight with Joey I started off slow, so it's more of being explosive coming out from the gate instead of setting stuff up. Coming off the gate just starts to throwing. I think in that fight I think out of 6 rounds it was like 60 or 70 punches, which isn't enough. And I think Joey had 80. I think I had 65. He had 80. So I should have been through like over 100 punches in 6 rounds.
Okay. How do you change his work rate?
More pressure, more. He comes at night, trains more hours off his schedule. So he's dedicated. He's always training. So he added more to his plate. Is just making him a little bit better.
Now he's a tall 54, right? Do you feel like it's tough for him to get fights because he's tall and rangy?
Well, we've been talking about maybe going up a little bit, but that's something that we got to keep discussing.
Is that because of COVID and the layoff, or you just think his body's just ready to move up to 160?
Yeah, his body's ready to move up a little bit. That's my opinion. I see how he works. He spars with heavier guys, and he does real good with heavier guys. And so I think, throwing it out, I think he should move up a little bit. But he's doing good no matter what. He's doing good now. But I just feel that he'll be more powerful, more stronger. He'll have an advantage at coming up a little bit.
Okay. Now, I got to ask you. You're in Danny Garcia's camp. He got a big fight coming up with Errol Spence. How do you see that fight going?
I think Errol's underestimating Danny. Danny got some power, Either way, I got a 50-50. No lie, not just because I came with Danny, I got a 50-50. And I like Spence. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Now, you're a bigger guy. You're 54, right? You've never fought anything below 54?
No, the lowest weight was 152. It was a 54 fight. I came in at 152 one time in my career. But I was at 54.
Do you spar welterweights and middleweights?
Yes.
How would you rate Danny's power as far as with the guys that you've been in the ring with?
I think the hardest hit I ever had was Kermit Cintron. And then I think Danny's right after him. And I sparred a couple guys. Hammer Hands, that's what I think what main event top rank. Julian Rodriguez, I sparred on from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I sparred Toro when Toro was out from Allentown, and Danny's up there for 147. Danny's up there, but I think he's right behind Kermit.
Okay, and Kermit Cintron, he was a banger.
Yeah,
now, was he from Allentown or Reading?
Reading, from Puerto Rico, and then he was in Reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got that work when you were young?
As soon as I came out of the pro, it just connected. We was from the same gym. From his manager and my manager were the same back then. When he came after his hand surgeries, so 6 years ago.
Okay. How long are you going to be in this camp?
probably got 1 more week.
1 more week?
Yeah.
And how many rounds you going? 4, 6? What?
It depends. Today's 3, Thursday be 4, and then there'll be 5 on Saturday. So they change it all the time.
Okay. Now, King's Promotion has a card on the 21st.
Yes.
Are you slated to go in, what, December, January?
December, January, we're looking at Marshall to come into camp, drop the weight, loosen up, knock the rust off, and then look for a fight. The latest December, so I'm looking for December.
When will you decide on the weight?
It depends what fights Marshall has us. That's my promoter. We go with him and listen to what he says, and then we just agree, and then we just keep going from there.
Now, what's the process with that? Is it a joint, or you make the final decision for the opponent?
It's joint. Like Marshall, he promotes it to me, and then I talk to him, and then we sit down, we talk together, and then I'll take the play at the end, and we meet with Marshall, and then we just agree if we're gonna take the fight or not.
If you decide on 160, what changes will you make?
Changes, right?
Yeah.
He's doing his. Oh, the only change we gotta make is him going up a weight. Him changing, there's no changes. He's doing good. Because what he has to do is just a little bit more weight on him. That's what we're working on. Just 1 more weight on him.
Now,
Speed a little bit faster, things like that.
Now, was your amateur career extensive, or you were a guy that just jumped into the pros?
Straight to the pros. What happened? I started kickboxing. I was an amateur kickboxer for 6 years, but I was in camp. My last fight, getting ready for a title, amateur title. I was in camp with Harry Yogi, and Harry Yogi was getting a fight for Reading, and that's how that came about. And Harry was like, "You got good hands. Why don't you just do boxing, leave kickboxing alone?" So I applied for my license, and then that's when I got a manager, and then I fought my first fight under the Iron Mike Promotions down in Bethlehem. So it was no boxing amateur. Like I didn't know nothing about Golden Gloves, nothing.
So you just started right up?
Just started, yeah. Went from kickboxing. After I won the belt, it was like he got the card. He went with me down to talk to Greg Zerb. He signed the application, and then he looked for a fight. So Harry was my advisor at first. My first 4 fights, Harry was my advisor to give me fights and everything. And that's how it all started, and I just stick with it from there.
If you had to do it all over again, would you go straight into the amateurs? Like,
Yeah,
would you do some fights?
I'll definitely get some fights. There's a big difference coming from kickboxing to boxing, whereas kickboxing we're more stand up for our feet and kicking, where boxing you sit down. And a lot of people say that's why they see the difference of me not knocking people out, because I don't sit on my punches. I'm ready to throw and get out.
Yeah.
Kickboxing. So
Two different worlds.
you figure, yeah, it's 2 different. So you figure I did martial arts for 20 years and then kickboxing 6 years, and now I'm only going on 7 years of boxing. So that still he sees that a lot of me. So he's working on the angles and sitting with me. That's something I see different in this camp. He's working on me and sitting down more on those punches.
Is this the most competitive camp or the most competitive environment that you've been in, boxing-wise?
No, like I said, I sparred all over. Kermit, like I said, the one thing was Kermit. Kermit, because there's power. That you question yourself all the time going Kermit, but then after a while, I got used to Kermit. It was something we came to. So Kermit was just like a brother in the gym. We could be in the gym, like, you want to spar today, Eric? Yep, we sparring. So Kermit was always there. I had who else? And I had Arturo Tulio. I think he was 7-0 with 5 knockouts before he stopped from long time. That used to come down. He was a great fighter too. He was about to sign Rock Nation, and then he just stopped boxing. He was also another great fighter that had a big amateur career.
Did you feel like you had your amateur career in the pros? Like sparring, going from gym to gym, seeing different styles like that?
Yeah, I was landing. Yep, that was exactly how I landed. I was hands-on. Like, as soon as I go, that's when they were picking stuff up. It wasn't really. When I first came out in the pros, I wasn't doing drills or boxing drills. It was more just switch over, all right, you can't kick no more. So now it was sparring. So I took a lot of headaches, beatings, and punches that I shouldn't, because it was guessing, learning on the fly. On the fly. Now I'm actually getting just after a year, I'm getting the techniques and everything down.
Okay. What do you have to say for people that don't know who you are, but will end up watching your fight next?
It should be exciting. If you know me, I come in, my record, I'm 13-4 with 1 knockout, but I come to brawl. Like a lot of people say, I will box, I'll mix it up. We're looking out to get back on this winning. My last 2 fights, I lost my last 2 fights, but just got to get to the winning ways.
Okay. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.